What's the biggest scam we all just accept? The value of diamonds. I have a friend who will go on and on about why the diamond business relies on slave labor and should not be supported. She would relate to your post. But a $5,000 diamond and immediately go to a jewelry store right away and have it appraised. Nowhere near what you paid. Try to sell it and you won't get half. Diamonds are only good for electronics and timekeeping. Worthless as jewelry. FT beers. Convenience fees for paying online. Now that's some horse shit. Inkjet printers. Do people accept this? It is a scam. FO show. I found that I can buy a monochrome laser prints for cheap. So went that route. Bottled water. I like to think I don't accept that one. MLMs. Those are all corrupt businesses. They're basically legal pyramid schemes. Had a friend who fell for one and lost a ton of money. Lavish marriage ceremonies. Thousands of dollars for a single dress. And not even a custom designed, original for you dress. This is something you bought off the rack at a store that may have had a little tailoring afterward. That's insane. Released ADLC. Boo-hoo. That S makes me so mad. Tipping at restaurants. It would be better for everyone if waiters/waitresses were paid a fair wage instead of relying on tips. That's how it is in Europe. If dinner costs 47 euros, 50, I'll just round up to 50 euros. If I was in the US, the bill comes to $47.50 and I'm expected to pay at least $57. Servers don't expect tips in Europe. They provide just as good service and get paid normally. They do enjoy American tourists though. Americans always tip and they usually don't mind. Most organic and non-GMO foods are literally the same vegetables with a sticker on them that suddenly makes them cost 3x more. Yet people rush to them thinking they are being progressive and woke by buying them. I don't even notice much difference in taste between organic and conventionally grown produce. Oh no, they've done blind tests where they have had people taste multiple products, some GMO some non-GMO, and they would be all the same thing. Without the sticker, no one can tell which one is organic and which one isn't. They also did one to taste organic foods and why they were better. People went on and on about freshness and being worth the money, and it was revealed they were eating non-organic produce. Some then tried to suddenly gag and scream they knew they were being poisoned. TLDR, people are full of S. Some drugs being illegal / the war on drugs. Oregon was like, screw that lol. Ticketmaster convenience fees. Reddit coins. We allow the rich to get away without paying their fair share of tax. Main issue is though, if X country raises taxes for the rich too much, then the rich will just leave and take their money to a country with lower taxes, especially tax havens. Other issue is a lot of people get really scared or angry whenever a government mentions plans to increase taxes, even if their rise in taxes won't affect 90% of the people. Smartphones. Yes, they are using them to track us, but we are perfectly fine with it for some reason. To track, listen, watch, basically monitoring us 24/7. That cookies on websites are made to give you the best experience possible, not necessarily a scam. HTTP is stateless, so you need some way of keeping at least a minimal amount of state if you're to be able to do fancy things like, say, log in and post a message to Reddit. Cookies are usually the best method of keeping at least a session token. If you couldn't store any state in the browser, then you would have a purely 1992 level web experience. Interesting. I thought they just want me to agree with seeing annoying advertisements and selling my data. My bad then. That taxes won't cover universal healthcare. Of course they will. It only costs so much because there are too many people middle managing and taking money out of the pot to look after people. Also health and safety. 90% of it is just don't be stupid and you'll be fine. There is an actual scarcity regardless of taxes or who's paying. You could have universal healthcare tomorrow and there'd still be a finite amount of doctors. What's happened is that the AMA has restricted the supply of new physicians for 40 years, driving up the labor costs of medicine. It's great if you're a doctor or a med school, but it sucks for the rest of us. Health insurance. Only in America and poor countries. Hi. Your car warranty has expired. This is your final courtesy call before we have to foreclose your car's warranty. Press 1 if you would like to talk with one of our warranty specialists, or press 2 to be removed from our call list. I would give this more updates if I could, as it is take my one lowly vote. Good looks equals respectability. That's how you think people who aren't attractive are easier to respect, because of how it can be difficult for people society deems not perfect. It's judging a book by its cover any way you look at it, I suppose. Just something I see happening more than when I was younger. People are respectable or not due to their actions. Superficial assessments are a danger zone. The university experience. Insurance companies trying their absolute fucking best to not do exactly what you pay them whopping sums for every time you need them. Loot boxes. Being forced to always click I accept terms and conditions by every company online for everything. No matter what those conditions are. Need to pay some medical bills. Well, you can only do it on pay4doc.com, and if you don't agree to terms and conditions, you can't get it done. Need to order a specific part from a company? Same thing. Even agreeing to Zoom meetings, if I remember correctly. So we've raised an entire generation of people who don't even bother reading contracts because they are conditioned to believe you have no choice but to agree to the contract. This is extremely insidious, and there's no real recourse. Realtors. 20 years ago, they were absolutely essential. Someone had to track which houses were for sale and maintain that database. But now, people looking to buy a house have access to the same information, pretty much, that realtors do, but they still have the same commission. Why? Because due to the social inertia, realtors have been able to wedge themselves between people selling houses and people buying houses. And they've done this by an informal collusion, where they'll only deal with other parties who also have realtors. So they are more or less not too different than a Mayfair asking a business for security payments. Wanna sell your house? No problem. Just pay $20k to the realtor Mayfair, and we'll make sure nothing bad happens to your customer traffic. Multi-channel networks. Duties when getting a package from another country. Large popcorn. Hear me out. When the only options are a large and a small. If the large is $5, but the small is $2, the theaters don't want you to pick the small. So they'll invent a medium size. But instead of pricing the medium as perfectly between $2 and $5, $3.50, they'll price the medium as slightly less than the large. So, in your mind, you think, well, I could get even more popcorn for just a little bit more. I'd be a fool to miss out on that deal. The theater never wanted you to pick the medium. They just artificially made the large more attractive. Also, essential oils, when used for their health benefits, they're not essential in that they're vital to good health. They're essential in the sense that they have the essence of things. Also, games that aren't finished on the release date, whether it needs a patch or actual paid DLC to be complete, just push the deadline back, or make the deadline a reasonable one.